It is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. As usual, just making sure everything is working in the way it ought to be working, yeah. And once again, yeah, it's happening again. Not hearing. Okay, now I'm hearing myself. Nice, yeah. Let me say a special good night to those of you joining us on YouTube and Facebook. For some reason, I can't see my Facebook. I know it's live, but I'm not seeing the Facebook from in studio. I don't know. Facebook is giving all sorts of issues these days. That's why I always say subscribe to the YouTube page. Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube page.
Why she really love it when 6 months on peace? I would be wanting to try this.
It's much more stable than the Facebook platform for some reason.
The action, I will keep on knocking I
To all of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5, Real FM out there in beautiful St. Patrick. Also saying a special good night to those of you joining us via We Noise Radio, our loyal We Noise Radio fans. I say a special good night to each and get into the discussion in a short while. Yeah, the Transformers, yeah. I remember speaking to Brother Gregory Boyne a while back, and he was speaking about the Decepticons, you know. Yeah, they are around and you think everything all right and normal. Yeah, and then boom, you realize they come up from below. Yeah, so tonight, yeah, we're going to talk about the Decepticons, you know? Yeah. Just trying to make sure I get everybody online. This man was in competition on Saturday. I don't know what took place. He didn't make it to the finals. I think there was some problem at the beginning of his presentation.
Yeah, my land that you celebrate 50. Some call you a little baby. Others say you Johnny come lately. Oh, yo, but they don't know about your history. All the things you have been through was too much for you. Yet you had resilience to stand there.
I just need to correct one thing in studio. I may have to step off a bit to correct that.
Yet you produce some beautiful children. This is the land that has famous people like Junior Murray. This is the land under St. Peters and Champion Kirani. Land of my birth.
Yeah, every Monday I have these problems. Try to ensure that we don't, but every Monday, you know, there's the Monday morning, well, Monday evening blues in this case, yeah.
This is the land, Randy Isaac Becky with Zeda Jamo. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate 50, we cannot wait my birth. Let's celebrate 50, it would be great. We don't talk much about your troubles, no.
Yeah, folks, so one of the first things is I have to say continue to be careful. COVID-19 is around. COVID-19 never really left, eh? Yeah, but the numbers had gone down significantly. At this point in time, you know, we have a lot of visitors to the island, and we are seeing a definite increase in the numbers of persons who are coming down with COVID-19. Yeah, to the point of, I know there was a message that came out from the Ministry of Health a bit earlier today, I believe it was, to some of the people who work within that system. Yeah, they're asking them to, due to the rise in respiratory infections and so on, to ensure that masks are worn and all of that. Yeah, so that is happening. All right. Yeah, so to ensure and to lessen on visitors to the medical facilities, try to lessen on the amount of people who are going to the medical facilities and so on as visitors, right? And also to ensure that mask wearing and other normal procedures, not a need to panic. And let me say, I never believe there's a time to panic. Anytime you panic, you lose control of a situation when you start to panic, yeah? You lose control of a situation when you start panicking. So it is always important not to panic. All right? It is always important not to panic. So those of you that think you need to wear a mask, you know you're in one of those groups of people who, if you do contract COVID-19, that you are at high risk of becoming severely ill. You need to ensure that you start back your mask wearing. All of us should also ensure that we use our hand sanitizer and different things like that. Whatever we can do to mitigate against this becoming another situation, a major situation when it comes to COVID-19 again in Grenada. Yeah? So as I said, I did see something a little earlier today in relation to COVID-19 and all of that. Yeah, I did see something a little earlier today in relation to that. Nice. Yeah, let me take that one from the top. As I said, I may have to step off from camera for a short while. Just a short while.
Na 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 na. Boy, Dr. Rod, turn it up for Grenada. Yeah, my land that you celebrate 50. Some call you a little baby. Others say you Johnny come lately. Oh yo, but they don't know about your history. All the things you have been through was too much for you. Yet you had resilience to stand them. Revolution, intervention, and coup. Yet you produce some beautiful children. This is the land that has famous people like Junior Murray. This is the land Anderson Peters and Champion Kirani. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot love my birth. Let's celebrate. Oh, yeah. 50, it will be great. This is the land we produce people like the mighty Sparrow. This is the land. Randy Isaac, Becky, we did a jamo. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot love my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, it will be great. We don't talk much about your troubles. No, no. You have been through many struggles. That's true. Yet you rose up from the rubbles. Yeah, yeah. Proving resilience as a people. Storms and hurricane. Yet you came back again. Even COVID-19 couldn't stop you. So much destructive human try to destroy this island. Yet we're standing strong as a nation. This is the land. Let's remember the...
Right, so let's get ready to go now. Yeah, so as I said, there was one bit of information that I saw today. And it said, what they're asking the medical professionals, those people in the medical facilities and so to do, and I have to read it from on the send tonight. Yeah, it says the use of face masks at our medical facilities, that's what they're recommending to the nurses and doctors and other people. So they're recommending that they use face masks at the medical facilities, ensure hand hygiene through sanitization and hand washing, ensure correct cough etiquette. In other words, if you have to cough, you cough into your elbow. You don't cough, you don't cough like that. You don't, you cough into your elbow and so. And staff with flu-like symptoms should be tested for COVID-19, well, SARS, COVID, CoV-2, well, COVID, yeah, and seek medical care at the Occupational Health Department. Minimize visitation on the wards at our hospital and elderly homes. So they want to reduce on the amount of people that are coming to visit and so on. And also they have flu shots are available at General Hospital Infection Control Unit. So that was sent out to the various people in the health sector. I know that was sent out today, I believe, yeah. That was sent out to them today. Yeah? Nice.
Land of my birth, Valinet, and Lady Cinti, land of my birth, Lava Man, who live back and electrify, land of my birth, land of my birth.
You know, and tonight I gotta ask some questions, but remember it's Monday night, so the phone line is open. From the time we start on a Monday night, the phone lines are open. Also, to let you all know that tomorrow night we will be having a guest with us. On Tuesdays is now called Talking Tuesdays. So on a Tuesday night, we're going to attempt to have a guest on with us each Tuesday night. The guest this Tuesday is none other than Senator the Honorable Norland Cox. He will be on live from Carriacou with us on Tuesday night. So tomorrow night, we will be having, people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, you all got to tune in earlier. Yeah, so we will be having Senator the Honorable Norland Cox. He will be our special guest tomorrow night with us on Talking Points. Yeah, nice, good, great, beautiful, man. Let me see, I have another one day. Let me pull up another one day.
An occasion called for a big celebration. It is when Grenada does show their patriotism. Independence not the time for no damn confusion. If you think I go come here to embarrass the government or talk about police how they handle crime and accident, you know I prefer to sing about something nice and dandy. Independence not the time.
Let me say a special good night to you, Zayla. Yeah, it's already 18 past. Zayla, good night to you. Zoe, good night to you. Zelia, good night to you.
How certain people riding plane like bus. No, it's not the time for that. Why the hell they have put Grenada first? No, it's not the time for
So, you know, time to go to bed. Time to go to bed, yeah.
make everybody happy.
Neela and Namara, time to go to bed.
A milestone 50. So let we sing, let we sing, let we sing. We back on our feet again. In spite of all the challenges, we back on our feet again. Breaking barriers, building up bridges. If we only unite as one, we could build a stronger nation. So let we sing songs of unification.
Yes, I'm still not getting my Facebook. I don't know why. So I'm fighting up in the studio here. I know that it is on, but I am just not getting it. I don't know why. I'm not able to access my own Facebook tonight. It's just giving all those problems tonight. Yeah. Behave yourself, Facebook. Yeah. Behave yourself.
When you make all your scandal. And in your Christmas song, you put
Also, seeing the independence decorations going up and so on, very interesting. And I have to say this as well, though, that I think that over the years, by now we should understand, number one, the proper flag etiquette. Yeah, the proper flag etiquette. In other words, the proper way to hang the Grenada flag up. Because I'm still seeing people, and a lot of people who should know better as well, yeah, hanging up the Grenada flag upside down. Yeah, believe it or not, they know the direction that the nutmeg supposed to be facing. Right? So you're seeing a lot of people still hanging the Grenada flag the wrong way around. Yeah? So the nutmeg should be hanging. Is that nutmeg? How nutmeg does hang? Up? No, nutmeg does hang down. Right? So there are a lot of people that are still hanging the flag up in the wrong way, and that needs to be addressed. All right? That's the first one.
so let we sing songs of unification.
Second one, I myself spoke to the designer of the Grenada national flag, and I know that when I spoke with him, he said the colors of the Grenada national flag are red, gold, and green. Not red, yellow, and green. Red, gold, and green. I keep hearing, even in some of the songs that you're hearing for the independence, you hear some people speaking about red, yellow, and green. No, it's red, gold, and green, yeah?
Like the ones who might again it and eat it. You have nothing good to say, so just shut up your toilet. If I come and say something contrary, you might run me off the stage. So I say you think to put Grenada on the front page. As a certain man, I would like to leave a legacy and be remembered as someone who
Yeah, so I think I've got it now, so I think I should be okay now.
come ganja prisoners free. Now it's not the time for that. Watch you posing by a marijuana tree. Now it's not the time for that. I see them criminals and them getting bail. Now it's not the time for that. None of them politicians.
And as I've said, the phone lines are open. Yeah, the phone lines are open. You can call in at any time. 347-329-3101 and 440. That's 440-7377. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program.
Breaking barriers, building up bridges. Only unite as one. We could build a stronger nation. So we sing songs of unification.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. So, folks, I've been doing some research over the weekend. Yeah, and I think right now is the time that you need to tell everybody that Talking Points is on, because we're going and talk some kind of thing here right now. We're about to go and into some kind of, yeah, you see when I start to shift all the mouse and everything out of the way, I need space so my hands could move. Right. Yeah. So I have been doing some serious investigations over the past few days in relation to the company or the organization called Nation Builders. Yeah. There was an article that was put out by, good night to you, Joyce. An article that was put out by Miss Linda Straker. Yeah. I believe it was during last week and so, that spoke to Nation Builders, this non-governmental or non-profit organization that was created by the present members of the present administration. Well, at least it seems to be a creation of the National Democratic Congress, so they have created an NGO. Now, something you need to know about non-governmental organizations, they are, as their name suggests, non-governmental organizations. They are not supposed to be associated with the government. Yeah? They operate outside of the government and are focused on specific issues, problems, concerns that a country may have. You may have a non-governmental organization, for instance, that deals with the issue of HIV and AIDS. It may have a specific non-governmental, non-profit organization that can deal with that issue. And there are literally hundreds of millions of dollars out there in the donor community that NGO would be able to access that the government of Grenada cannot access. So as government, there are funds from, it could be the United Nations through UNESCO or whatever. It can be from the World Bank. It could be from various organizations internationally. Some of the richest people on earth, they have different charities that donate to non-governmental organizations to provide services in different countries. In Africa, they may provide water and sanitation to different communities and so on. They may assist farmers to improve their yield, and so they may bring electricity to areas that had no electricity before. They may build schools in different communities that had none. So these charities by these multi-billionaires and different organizations and so, they refuse to give that money to governments. They will only give that money to non-governmental organizations. So once the organization is properly constituted in a country and they are found not to be associated with politics and so on, that organization can then access funding from some of these charities, etc., that are out there. Right? So that's just to give you a little idea. Because some people you may be hearing, all the time you may be hearing NGO, 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 and you may be wondering, but what they're talking about, what really is an NGO? And if nobody takes the time to explain to you, then this is what an NGO is. You may not have a clear understanding of what an NGO or a non-profit is. Also, they are not set up for people to become rich. They are not set up for the people involved to make money. They are a non-profit or non-governmental, non-profit/non-governmental organization. They are to operate. They utilize funds given to them. They send reports to the organizations that have given them these funds to show how they've utilized it. It is not supposed to be a situation that, for instance, let's say someone gives $10 million and at the end of the day, you find out that the organization still has, at the end of the project, they have $2 million on their bank account. No, it's a non-profit organization. They are not supposed to utilize that money in a way that they end up making money off of it, that people become rich off of it. You see them building houses and buying cars and doing all sorts of things because they're working with an NGO. NGOs don't operate in that way. Yes, people working along with the NGOs are to be paid to facilitate. So they will have people that work along as part of the NGO itself that will facilitate different things happening. So they are paid for their time and their effort and so on. Some NGOs may even go so far as to give a person a vehicle and things like that so they can move about, especially if you're based more rural and you have to go around the rural communities and meet with people and so on. So an NGO may have a vehicle attached to them and different things like that, right? But remember, they are not supposed to be making money. They are mainly supposed to seek their funding out there. Government can assist. Yeah, government can assist, but they cannot assist them in the same way that they would do with a statutory body. And I'm going somewhere with that. Because, again, we've seen the facts and we've heard the facts in relation to the NGO nation builders. We've seen the facts in relation to nation builders. Nation builders, and let me see if I can and pull up that bit of information here. Let me just take 1 minute and pull that information up.
Here in Grenada, we need a little education. It's time to do some introspection. Like we at a standstill and the whole country suffering from social constipation.
Right, so Nation Builders is registered as a non-profit. And folks may ask, well, Sheldon, why are you going back to that? I know why I'm going back to that tonight. Nation Builders is registered as a non-profit or non-governmental organization. It was registered in October. Please pay attention to the dates that I'm speaking of tonight very carefully. It was registered as a non-governmental organization in October 2023 by Mitchell and Company. And I'm reading here off of the article of Miss Linda Straker. Yeah? So, we first heard of Nation Builders. That would have been in March of 2023. The first time we heard about Nation Builders was in March of 2023. But in October of 2023 is when that organization was registered. Right? On the 15th of March in 2023, there was a town hall meeting in St. David, and we heard of Nation Builders. Yeah? That's when they announced the WASH program, and they have the Nation Builders program and all that sort of thing. Right? And I think I did play that for you all last week. I did play the announcement of Nation Builders, what Nation Builders is, and so on. I did play that for you all last week, and I think I should play it again this week just to refresh your memory. This is on March, and please again pay attention to the dates. If you have a pen close by, write them down. March the 12th, not the 13th, March the 15th of March 2023. So you have Nation Builders. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Yeah, let me see if I can get the thing up, man. Yeah, we had to see the thing and we had to hear it. Nice. So let's hear about Nation Builders. Nice? Good.
And following the June 23 election, we recognize the energy levels of Grenadians is high. And everybody is eager to get involved in nation building and to play their part. But we also recognize that the interaction with government agencies could sometimes be quite bureaucratic and frustration. We are persons in the diaspora wanting to give back, wanting to contribute, and the process sometimes frustrates them and discourages them. So we recognize that, and we've designed a program that seeks to alleviate those barriers. And it's called Nation Builders. Essentially, Nation Builders is a program that seeks to connect citizens, private sector, and the government in a seamless way to engage in community-based activities. So, for example, if I want to build a playground, instead of going to the ministry, and in some instances, I mean, not with this government, but previous governments, they get around, you get frustrated and you just withdraw your services. There's an entity now that will facilitate that process for you to ensure that your project.
And folks, while you were saying there's an entity now to facilitate that project, please remember this is on the 15th of March 2023. According to what is registered with the intellectual office, etc., copyright, intellectual, and all of that up. The CAIPO. What is registered with them is registered as of October 2023. Yet still, he was saying that there is, and that was in March of 2023. So already he was lying. But anyway, let's go ahead.
Or heard, recognized, and that we channel it to the right ministry or agency for fast implementation. Nation builders would also...
So he's speaking there of funds that people have, some of these organizations have, that they would be able to get those funds and channel it back to a ministry. But remember what I told you what NGO is. An NGO is for people that don't want to put money into government. So they go to a non-governmental organization. For instance, Bill Gates, he helps to fund NGOs in various countries, various other multi-billionaires, both individuals and companies. They fund NGOs in various countries to deal with different things, right? So it's that they may not want to deal with a government. They may want to deal with a group that they find has the ability, the capability, and they put forward a proposal and they can do a particular project that is in line with one of the thematic areas they may be dealing with. They will fund them. But here they're speaking about somebody wants to fund, so they're going to use the organization to get the funds back to government, which is not supposed to happen with an NGO in the first place. But let's hear the final thing he had to say in relation to this.
Seek to collaborate with the private sector. So for example, I may have an idea for a playground, I have $10,000, but I need another $20,000 to make the program a reality. Through Nation Builders, we will facilitate the pooling of resources by collaborating with the private sector, collaborating with other citizens to ensure the effective execution of those projects. So essentially, Nation Builders is a facilitator for citizens' involvement in the building of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
All right, so we've heard what he had to say there in relation to that. Also at that meeting, it was announced that some 200, I think it was about 200 toilets and so were already either here or on the way to Grenada and so, and that they're looking for donations. Remember, they had the National Susu. Yeah, so they were collecting money and everything there. And I did say at the time that the public finance management rules were not being followed, that the accountant general had to open a specific account that dealt with the issue of the WASH program, and WASH is a program that is being handled by Nation Builders. Yeah? So there is a specific account that has to be opened by the government of Grenada to receive funds on behalf of the WASH program. But then again, we are seeing that now Nation Builders, who are handling the WASH program, has been registered as an NGO. So can government register an account, have an account open on behalf of an NGO? No, they can't. So there are more questions coming up in relation to the particular issue of of Nation Builders when you look at that. Now remember the dates again. This was on the 15th of March 2023. We also had, following that, let me see here. So in 2023, we had, remember the bill that they brought in relation to NOWASA and some of the changes they made in relation to the statutes that NOWASA has to follow. And during that debate, when they were speaking about that, the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Southwest told a sitting of the lower house that what they were doing there made it easier for the initiative by government called Nation Builders. So the initiative is by government, but governments cannot run an NGO. It's in the name, non-governmental organization. But yet still you're seeing that Nation Builders is registered as an NGO. Yeah? So, and not only is it an NGO, but they don't have to pay taxes. They're not under what a lot of businesses have to go through. They don't have to go through that. So they don't have to pay taxes and all this kind of thing. So it was registered in October 2023 following an application to the Attorney General's Chamber in September of 2023. That's a few months ago, September 2023. So the application was made to register Nation Builders in September of 2023. The company, the non-governmental organization, let me say non-governmental organization, was registered in October 2023. The application was made by the Prime Minister's law firm, Mitchell & Co., using the address of the Prime Minister's law firm at the Excel Plaza. Yeah? So that is well, the Mitchell & Co., their address, Mitchell & Co. Company, is Unit 14 to 16 Excel Plaza, Grand Anse. Right? The letter seeking approval from the Attorney General's Chamber was submitted on the 21st of September. Again, please make notes when I call dates. The 21st of September 2023, and the reply was processed on the 3rd of October 2023. Right? The articles of incorporation, right? So they're supposed to carry out different duties and that sort of thing. Right? So the final thing in relation to them, they were fully registered and acknowledged and so on. And that was dated the 5th of October 2023. The address of Nation Builders, not the people who registered them. The people who registered them is who? At Excel Plaza. That's the address of Mitchell & Co. The address, the principal address of Nation Builders is unit number 2 Hobson House in John Street, St. George, which just happens to be a property that, as far as we know, may belong to the Prime Minister, or at least occupied by the Prime Minister. But we know that that property on St. John Street, right below the courthouse there, right? You will see the Mitchell & Co. there as well, right? So something more in the matter. That, I mean, the company, the law firm that registered you, you're also registered to the same address as the law firm in town. There are 3 directors, and some of you may know some of them. Benedict Peters, Dorsina Shari Ruth Noel, and Marie Benjamin, right? And they were all appointed on the 12th of September 2023, right? So they are directors appointed on the 12th of September. The application to have the company registered was submitted on the 21st of September. The company was finally registered on the 5th of October 2023. Right? So everybody with me so far in relation to Nation Builders. Right? I hope you all listening very carefully. I know I have a very intelligent audience, and I know that you all are listening very carefully and you're making your notes of the timelines that I'm giving here. Yet still, folks, during my investigations over the weekend, and you know sometimes over the weekend, I might take a walk outside and there may be a brown envelope waiting on the floor outside for me. So I just have to be careful how you open it and think you never know what on the envelope is. So sometimes you have to be careful how you open them brown envelopes and so. But if you open your door and as soon as you open the door, you kick something and you realize, hey, somebody leave an envelope there for you. Well, you had to take the envelope and you had to see what the envelope is saying. Yeah? So I went outside and I see an envelope. And in that envelope, it was telling me that on the 25th of September 2023, that under the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, that $500,000 was transferred from the government of Grenada to Nation Builders Incorporated. And I want to know, well, no, something had to be wrong with that. Yeah? That the funding was approved for the WASH program. Yeah? Under the Grenada Home Improvement Program or Housing Program, that $500,000, now remember, the government is giving $500,000 to a group that still doesn't exist at the point in time. So I want to know what account that money went to, because as far as the articles of incorporation show, that company did not exist in anything but a thought and a figment of the imagination of the people that were saying that it was there. It did not exist until the 5th of October 2023. Yet still, the cabinet of this country approved $500,000 on the 25th of September. The board of directors were approved when? When did they put in place the board of directors? They were appointed just a few days before, on the 12th of September. The documents were submitted on the 21st of September. Just 4 days before that money was approved by the government, by the cabinet of this country. $500,000, in other words, $500,000 was approved for the same nation builders. Remember, these is the people who say all kind of thing about the faith program and who corrupt and all kind of thing, you know. I ain't call them corrupt. I'll let you all know what happened. That they approved $500,000 for a company that was not yet even in existence legally. And I'll tell you that even after the company goes through the process and they are legally registered in Grenada as an NGO, they would have to apply to the bank and have clearance from the bank, because the bank needs to make sure that that NGO is above board, that they're not involved in like terrorist financing or washing money for drug lords or anything like that. Because people could set up an NGO and do that, you know. They could wash money through an NGO. Drug lords could be washing their money through an NGO. Right? So the bank has a responsibility legally under the fiscal rules here in Grenada to ensure that any NGO that's applying to them, they have to do their background check, which takes a period of time before they can open an account for that NGO to be able to operate. So my question here is what account that money is supposed to go in, because remember, the NGO wasn't even formed yet still government was still able, to send $500,000 to an NGO that didn't exist yet. So the Ministry of Social and Community Development and Gender Affairs was asked to transfer the amount of $500,000, $500,000, to Nation Builders Inc., a company that didn't exist. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this one. And I challenge them to tell me that I'm lying, right? I challenge any of them. Terry, I hope you're listening. I'm challenging you and any of you to say that I lie. Yeah? I'll be listening. Say that I'm lying. Nation Builders Inc. was registered officially. The process was completed on the 5th of October, yet still on the 25th of September, $500,000 was approved for them. Right? Only on the 25th. Only on the 25th. You had the arrangement between the Ministry of Social and Community Development and Gender Affairs, the Ministry of Mobilization, or MIT as they call it, together with Nation Builders, to complete the WASH program in Belize, St. David. Tell me a lie. Yeah? Tell me a lie. Also, an employee, in other words, a person being paid by the government of Grenada through the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, was sent to work with Nation Builders Inc., an NGO. Explain that. Because, I mean, you all like to talk about who corrupt and corruption and so on. You all had all sorts of things to say about the faith program. Yeah, the faith organization. And faith organization, let me explain. Because apparently you all don't read the fiscal rules of Grenada. You all don't read the Public Finance Management Act, which clearly says in a case of a state of emergency, any sort of national emergency, government can sole source any sort of emergency need to any one particular organization or grouping. So when faith organization was called upon to assist with sanitization and so on in schools, those of us that can remember, because it wasn't that far back, can remember that we were in the midst of COVID, well, coming down to the end of the COVID thing, and there was a situation that the Grenada Union of Teachers had an issue with returning to the classrooms unless proper measures were put in place. But not just the Grenada Union of Teachers. Parents as well had concerns about their children going to schools without proper procedures being put in place to protect their children. And the Union of Teachers had an issue. In fact, from what I was hearing, there was talk of boycott and that kind of thing, that they're not going back into the classroom unless measures were put in place, specific measures were put in place to protect their members. And the Grenada Union of Teachers was not wrong. They were not wrong. But the government was also not wrong, because the Public Finance Management Act, anybody that doubt me and want to say I lie could go and read the Public Finance Management Act. It's available. Gives the government, any government, the right to sole source during a time of crisis, during a time when we were under a state of emergency. During a time of crisis, you can sole source to any particular grouping or so on to get a job done. So what was done was definitely not illegal. You had to reopen the schools. And as such, that organization had the people, had everyone, had the mechanisms that they could have gotten the job done, and they got the job done, and the schools were reopened. So they did what they were supposed to do. Now the government needs to pay them for the job that they have done and stop the nonsense, because they're going to court, they're going to lose. Let me repeat again. This government, the NDC government, will lose in the court of law with the case that the faith organization has against them. And not only will they have to pay these people, they're going to have to pay interest, they're going to have to pay their lawyers, and they're going to have to pay damages, because they've said some very nasty things about people involved in that organization. Now, if what or but about it, the same way they settle with the people with Kawana, they better find the faith people and settle with them, because they will lose. They're going to try to drag it past the election. Yeah, they're going to try to drag the case past then, because they know they're going to lose. Yeah? Right. So $500,000 was transferred to a company that didn't yet exist by the Cabinet of Grenada. So can the Cabinet of Grenada explain that to the Grenadian people? Also, we were told that what was taking place with the WASH program in Belle Isle was not funded by government. We were told that while the WASH program was a program under the Ministry of Mobilization and Implementation and through the Nation Builders, which was supposed to be a program under the MIT, now we find out that Nation Builders is an NGO, a registered NGO, which means that it's operating outside of government, yet still government funds were being given to that NGO that did not yet exist except in thought. And these are the people calling people corrupt. These are the people who have the worst and nastiest things to say about people. I ain't call nobody corrupt. I'm saying I'm asking questions in relation to this particular issue. How did $500,000 get allocated? And listen, once that information comes out from cabinet and goes to the finance officers in the ministry, I know how the system works. It's not going to take months for the money to go. It's not going to take weeks for the money. It's nearly immediate. They get the thing to pay. Within days, they're going to ensure that they pay. Within days, they're going to ensure that they pay. But we were told as well that we heard names like Ramdani's donate toilets, and the toilets on the port just to clear. We heard that other people were donating. We saw them collecting money there for the WASH program. But at the same time, we were hearing all of that. At the same time, while we were hearing all of that, nice? While we were hearing that they're collecting money there and all this kind of thing, you mean the government still had to come afterwards and put $500,000 in to ensure that the project in Belle Isle was done? No, we didn't think. Remember they had a national susu? That was supposed to be one of the ways that they were collecting money and so on. Yeah? So in that space of time, I want to know, between the 21st of September, when Nation Builders was registered, when Nation Builders found themselves, made the application to be registered. They wasn't registered yet. They made an application to be registered on the 21st of September. Government approved $500,000 for them on the 25th of September. And the company was fully registered on the 5th of October. If in that space of time, and let me get the name correct, if in that space of time they were able to go to the Anti-Money Laundering Commission and get clearance from them, to register with them and to get clearance from them before opening a bank account. And remember, they're opening a bank account because they know they're getting $500,000 from the government, when really they are supposed to source funding out there in the donor community. Government can assist, government could give a little something, but government would assist organizations that are statutory bodies, part of government, things like the National Stadium. If government had to step in to help something like, for instance, the National Lottery Authority, the Port Authority, the Grenada Postal Corporation, all these are statutory bodies. Yeah? All these are statutory bodies. In fact, even the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation at the beginning, you were hearing talk of that not really as a ministry, but more like a statutory body. Because when you look under the budget of the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation, you realize they're doing things like they're buying a crane for how much? $500,000. That $500,000 thing, $500,000, I don't know. But the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation buying a crane. This year they have under their budget that they're going to buy a crane for $500,000. For what reason? They alone know. Because if something takes place, a landslide takes place in St. Patrick, and there are contractors in St. Patrick with backhoe and so on that could remove that landslide, you telling me we're going to wait for a crane from the Ministry of Mobilization to leave St. George to go up and clear that? And if you have multiple, that is why what the previous government had done is ensure that various concessions were given to local contractors who have the excavators and the backhoe and different things, so that when an emergency occurs, you can call on these individuals because of the concession to help clear the landslide here or there or so on. Yeah, whether it's in the north coast or the west coast or the east coast, or it's down in the south, wherever it is, that you can call on these contractors because they're contractors all over the island. Instead of you centralizing as government and saying that you're going to buy a crane for $500,000, then before 2 years you find that you spend another $500,000 to fix that same crane because this went bad and you had to buy one, and that went bad and you had to buy one, and so on. Yeah? That it was easier to give concessions to these various organizations, these various other businesses, yeah, these service providers around the island, and work through them so you can work quickly and efficiently. There's something there. These people, you know, these are the contractors in that area, could get them at the snap of a finger. You can have that area cleared. Yeah, so I'm still trying to wonder what mobilization, implementation, and transformation is going to spend $500,000 on a crane for. But I digress. We come back to the WASH. WASH is supposed to be a program of the government of Grenada. So how come, because I hearing things about who the directors are, I ain't saying nothing. Those of you that know them, give me a buzz, not on air now. Let me know otherwise. But I hear anything, does be like in leg with two and all. I hear anything about the names that we call out there as directors. I'm not saying they are bad, wicked, or evil people. I am not saying that they're involved in wrongdoing. I am asking questions about their relationships with senior members of this administration, including some who carry red passport. I'm asking. Yeah? So nothing is wrong with asking a question, is there? I don't want to sue me for asking a question. So I'm asking the question, how does an organization that is not yet registered get cleared by the Anti-Money Laundering Commission here in Grenada to be able to open an account to accept $500,000 from the government of Grenada that should not be going to a non-governmental organization? And I challenge this administration, anybody in the administration, to say I lie. Yeah? I challenge any of them to say that I lie. Again, let me just go over it once again because some of you may have just joined. So I want to go over it one more time, a little quicker this time. The board of directors, they were appointed on the 12th of September. The application by Mitchell and Co. of Excel Plaza, the Prime Minister's law firm, to have the company registered, that was done on the 21st of September 2023. The company was registered. The application was noted on the 3rd of October and the application process, the registration, took place on the 5th of October. Yet still, on the 25th of September, the cabinet of this country approved $500,000 for a company that was not yet even registered. Had not gone through the Anti-Money Laundering Commission, because what document did I carry to the Anti-Money Laundering Commission to say that we are a registered company now? So by the point in time that the government of Grenada was approving this $500,000 for them, they were not yet registered as a company. Yeah? This is the people that has called people corrupt and all kind of thing. But anyway, the phone line's open. 44073. We have more to talk about. 44. There's sometimes I just walk outside and kick envelopes. You never know. 4407377. That's the number to call and get onto the inside. You can also call us on the WhatsApp. 347-329-3101. And note, under the budget that was just presented, yeah, now this is being done under the Grenada Home Improvement Project. That's a project that is under, even though the speaking of nation builders is under the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation. The Grenada Home Improvement Program is a project that is under the Ministry of Housing. Yes, social development and housing and so on. That project is under there. So the $500,000 that went to that organization did not come from the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, you know. That money came from the Ministry of Housing. So all kind of weird thing. So the project, in fact, one of the key areas that the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, one of their key focus areas for this year is that very same WASH program, you know. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, my dear.
We have it undercover.
Listen, hey, hello. Me know about that. Leave that alone, and that story circulating since 2022. Bye-bye. Yeah. Know what to say sometime, all you. Don't come in with that. That thing circulating since 2022. Right? Not because this person put it up, all you go spread that. Nah, that comment since when I don't know about that. You understand? I don't know about that, my dear. Nice. 4407733. Me only want to play in Cattle Crossroad. Me only have to know better than that. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. Oh, and let me let you all know as well, under that same Grenada Home Improvement Program, you're speaking of roughly $40 million to be spent under that program over the next 3 years or so. Yeah, inclusive of, let me see, is this year or last year? Yeah, so roughly about $40 million to be spent there. Under that same program that the WASH is being, yeah, that's what's funding the WASH. So it's roughly about $40 million over the next few years to be spent through that same source. Yeah, I know how much of that 40 million might find itself passing through nation builders, but I can tell you that there is $40 million because they've made their projection. So this year, I think it's, is it 10 million? I'll get the figures in a short while. I think it's 10 million and then they have how much million and how much million. Right. Yeah. Okay, I looked at the budget document. I went over I did a quick search of the 620 pages. No, I didn't read the whole 620. But there are ways that you can search the 620 pages in a very short period of time. I was able to do that, and I only saw WASH mentioned once, and it was under the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation as one of the key areas that they are looking at for 2024. They're one of the key areas, nation builders, and they had WASH separately. But we know that nation builders is taking care of the WASH program, but they had it as nation builders, and then they had WASH separate. So I don't know if nation builders outside of the WASH program that they are doing any other programs, but I find it kind of concerning. Yeah, I find it kind of concerning. It concerns me. I'm kind of worried about this one. I ain't too liking how it look. I hear we have the commissioners in place now. You might have to ask some questions. I think we have a caller on the WhatsApp. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Caller on the WhatsApp. Hello, good night. Hello. Okay, it seems as though the caller on the WhatsApp may not be hearing me. I'm not sure what. I was hearing them, so I could tell that they're there, but the caller on the WhatsApp may not have been hearing me. Caller on the WhatsApp, give us a call back, yeah? Nice. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah? Give us a call, man. Yeah, let me hear what you have to say. You understand? Yeah, we want to hear what I had to say in relation to this. We want to know, right? Because, I mean, when I was looking at the budget document, yeah, I was looking at the budget document, and that's the only place that I saw WASH, the key priority strategies for the 2024 budget, right? And as number 5, you saw administration of national agenda, and in the brackets there. Hello, good night. We have a call online. Hello.
Good night, sir.
Hi, good night.
Hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Yes, you go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, make a way drop. Sir, I don't want to take your time, but I took my notebook out to try to get just quick bullet points. What month that you said somebody was talking about this program they talk about? Was it in March?
Yes, March. On the 15th of March, 2023.
Okay, bear with me, sir. I'm taking notes because when I talk, I always like facts. 15th March 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When they decided to give the money was what month?
That was the 25th
Allocated.
25th of September.
Okay, 25th September.
2023.
Yes. Okay. When the organization was registered?
The application was on the 21st of September, and the registration process was completed on the 5th of October 2023.
Okay. 21st September application.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other one it was accepted.
Yes, everything was finalized on the 5th of October 2023.
Okay, 5th October. I'm a student, so.
Aren't we all?
Okay, I'm taking notes because I'm an old person. My brain is old, but I want to get facts when I talk. Now, so on the 5th of October 2023, and that at that time the money was approved. Sorry, the 15th of March, 25th of October
is when they spoke about it. They announced the Nation Builders and the WASH initiative under Nation Builders. That was announced on the 15th of March 2023.
Okay. 25th of September.
Mm-hmm. Money's approved.
Was when?
By the Cabinet of Grenada.
Okay. Okay. And the money was allocated on the 21st of September?
No, the money was allocated on the 25th. The application.
Oh, that time?
Yeah, the 25th of September. So they applied to have the company registered on the 21st. The company was registered on the 5th of October, but the monies for that company was approved in the middle of that on the 25th of September. A company that was not yet registered in Grenada and therefore could not even have a bank account.
Okay. Oh, Lord of mercy. Let's go.
So I don't know how. I don't know if they give them the money in a tub or some kind of. I don't know how they give them the money, but so.
And then the 5th of October now, it was fully registered.
Yes.
And the address was our Prime Minister's office.
His legal office.
Okay.
Now his legal offices, he has two organizations, Mitchell and Partners, Mitchell and Co. Where Mitchell and Company is located in the Excel Plaza, that's the address that they used in registering. So it's his Mitchell and Company that registered the company on behalf of the directors and so on. But the physical address of Nation Builders is the same building in the town of St. George where the Prime Minister usually used to reside. We used to reside there, and he has an office there.
I know it very well. I know it very well.
So you know Hobson House, yeah, on St. John Street.
Oh, I know it very well.
Yeah, good.
And Excel Plaza is my cousin's building. I know that. Okay.
All right, my brother.
So I just want to get some facts. Thank you. I would not comment. I just want to get some facts, so I'll do my homework.
Okay, my friend. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. God bless you, sir.
And God bless you as well, my friend. 440-7377. Yeah, I like what I call her do there. I'll pick up, right? Nice. 440-7377. 347-329-3101. Yeah, I love that caller. Yeah, people that's call people corrupt and say all kind of thing about people. I ain't hearing them right now. Huh? Yeah, explain that one. And try and say that's how I have come here and lied to the Grenadian people. Okay, that's a typical response now. Anytime you come out with anything and they're cornered, they come out and they say that you're lying. Yeah? So I challenge them to prove me wrong. Prove I'm lying about any aspect of this. The dates, the fact that 500,000 was allocated to Nation Builders for the project in Belle Isle. It's a project that you all were saying you're getting help from the business community and so on to do. We want to know. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Yeah, Sheldon, good night, bro. How are you?
I'm quite fine, bro. You go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just listening to the information you're giving out there, and I wouldn't say much more than to say this is very, very concerning, and I'm going to continue listening, and then I'll make my comment in a subsequent program. But it is a cause for real concern, particularly when, these people touted, the people of transparency and accountability and good governance and all of those things, and the NMP was, painted as being the most corrupt administration, and the members of the NMP has been, all kind of malfeasance and all sorts of things. So I'm listening with interest, and as I said, my comments would come later on, because I seem to believe that there's a lot more to come out of what you're saying. Secondly, I just want to say...
I wouldn't say everything one go.
Absolutely, bro. There seemed to be a blackout in some parts, electricity outage in some parts of somebody said in Tempe there wasn't. And I noticed, just came from Grenville, and all of Grenville town there's no electricity. As a matter of fact, the only building in Grenville establishment that has electricity is Anders and Associates, but they're closed, but Carriacou is open and they're using a generator. But every place else is out of electricity. But what I want to point is that the police station itself, I passed there and noticed there's no generator light or electricity light there. And I see one light hanging somewhere up. I mean, a cell phone is brighter than this. And one police officer on the outside on a cell phone. And, you've seen the other officers in the semi-darkness. And I think this is totally unacceptable that you have a police station. I don't know the reason, but I feel a place like a police station should have some emergency backup power in the eventuality of electricity and so going. And it doesn't look good with all the gun crimes and all that thing that's taking place at this point in time, that the police station, in my opinion, should be a place that is out of electricity at any point in time. All right? So that's my
so that explains. I got a message from one of my not just a listener, but is a person who would assist with me getting home and so. And they were asking if everything was okay in the studio. And I just realizing, as you're saying that now, because you mentioned one of the areas that would affect electricity where I am.
Yeah.
And they were asking if everything was okay, and I just understanding why they were asking.
Yeah, because I look over places like Cook Hill, and a sizable part of, seemingly out of this one side to Granbrook. If you're coming from Granbrook, the right-hand side of Granbrook, so seem to have electricity. But to the left-hand side, you're overlooking Harford's Village and the town of Grenville, there don't seem to be any electricity. Well, I know for this town of Grenville because I drove around, and it's like a ghost town. And I'm seeing like walkers just standing on this outside of some of the establishments as though, well, it must have gone suddenly. And, people just had to vacate and be on the outside. And so my concern is the police station in a time of heightened insecurity, as I like to term it. There's no electricity. At one little dimly hanging light somewhere, and what we call a partition somewhere there, It doesn't look good at all. So I'm wondering, somebody come to make a report or something, what the police officers are, what lighting they'll use, maybe a cell phone light or flashlight. But it's not good, honest. All right, so take care, Sheldon, bro.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, good.
All right. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. 347-329-3101. Yeah, I'll explain that. How do you give funds to an organization that does not yet exist? How that one does work out, budget-wise? Yeah? Because as I said, this document that I'm showing you here is from the 2024 budget. This is the 2024 budget, and oh dear, I've lost what I was about to show you there. So that is the 2024 budget. Let me just get it back quickly. Yeah, the 2024 budget, right? And under the 2024 budget, under the key priorities, strategies of the 2024 budget for the Ministry of Implementation, Transformation, Mobilization, Implementation, Transformation, these are some of the key areas. And we have here number 5, Administration of National Agenda, Support the Nation Builders Program, the WASH Program, and other programs. But as far as we know, the WASH Program is part of Nation Builders, but they have them as two separate things. But we have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, caller.
Yeah. I was sorry for the police and them. God forgive me for saying that.
Oh dear. No, it's our sons and daughters that there, man. We are sorry for them.
They should know.
It's our sons and daughters that there.
They should have a Delco, a generator there for the police and them, because any emergency could come in. Okay.
Yes, yes. All right,
All
my
right.
dear.
Take a
Thank
night.
you. All right.
Yeah. I was sorry for them.
I'm sorry for them because they are sons or daughters or family members and you know, or brothers or sisters, in some case, or parents. Yes, so I'm sorry for them. All right, that's me. You don't sorry, I sorry. Right, so we have a difference of opinion on that one, but love you nonetheless. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night.
Hi, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah. I'm calling all the way from Canada. So
Wow.
I listen to your program. Hello?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead. We're listening you.
Oh, yeah. I listen to your program all the time, and then I also listen to Independent Talk.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a question I really want to ask. I was listening. I was listening. An interview with Calista Farry and Delma Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And at the coming toward the end, she Calista asked this question, and the question she asked, she said that Dr. Kit Mitchell says on Tuesday, she said it was Tuesday, that he said that ISIS is well, how she put it is like he accused, and he basically saying that ISIS is registered in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
And then Delma Thomas' reply was, well, it's like, I can't remember what she said, but it basically what she's trying to say, well, she's like, she admit that he definitely said that, you know. So what I wanted to find out now, because I did listen one of the interview with Dr. Kit Mitchell on your program.
Yeah.
I think you had him on one night. And
Yes, but he was on last week.
Things.
He was on last week Monday as well. He was on GBN,
Right.
and I will play the statement that he made because I think that some of them are being very liberal with the truth and twisting facts in relation to what he said.
Exactly.
So
So
I
what
can play
I
that a
heard-
little later. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I heard he said, he was asking a question because he was saying he hearing the talk and he was asking the question, and he said if that is the case, the government definitely need to make a statement about that or to investigate that and let us know as Grenadians if that is so, you know. So that's what I gather from it. But if you listen to the last part of Delma Thomas and Calista Farry thing, you would hear they basically accused him of basically saying that it was so.
He asked
So
a
that's
question.
what I wanted to. I don't know if you could clear up that for me.
No problem, my brother. Thank you so
Okay.
very much for
And I'm
raising
gonna
that
hang
issue.
up now.
No problem. All
Okay,
right,
bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
Yes, indeed. And I listened to that interview. I don't want to get off the topic I'm on, but just to respond to that, at no time did he say that for sure they're here. He asked a question. He said, listen, I'm hearing this. I'm hearing this, and from people that would not just spread things just wild. So I'm hearing that an ISIS organization is registered in Grenada. So the government needs to check. That's what he said. And I'm going to play it a little later on, but I just don't want to lose the trend on this particular one to give the impression that he was making a firm statement that, hey, all your ISIS here. No. Some people called and they told him that ISIS is here. He asked one or two other people. They said they're hearing the same thing. It is up to the government now whose responsibility it was, if such an organization is registered here, to make sure that they never got registered in the first place. That was their responsibility. It is their responsibility now to go and check the organizations registered in the time frame that he was speaking about to ensure that none of them are affiliated to ISIS. That's what they're supposed to do. Not come out with theory like an idiot coming to try and fool Grenadians with stupid piece of paper saying that's the company. Like if ISIS is dunce enough to come and register in Grenada under the name ISIS, to go and collect 2 missiles wherever they're going from a drone, so they're that stupid? No. You and I know that, but they may not know that. So let me just tell you all something here. Now, the funding that I spoke about earlier, the $500,000, it came from under a specific program under the Ministry of Housing. That is this program. In the budget document, the 600-page document that most people may not go into, right? Under that document, under this area, I hope that you all are seeing what I'm referring to here, right? Let me see if I can pull it up here. The Grenada Home Improvement. This one, the Grenada Home Improvement and Resilience Project, right? So, the monies that they've put under that, right? So for 2024, they have $14 million here. And remember, that's the program that's funding the WASH program. So they've got 14 million there. The estimates for next year, the intent is to put a further 12 million there. And in 2026, the year after, the intention is to put another $14 million into that program. And they had 10 million approved for last year. All right, so that's under the Grenada Home Improvement and Resilience Project. So WASH, which is receiving money from there, would have access to that $40 million over the next 3 years. Nation builders. I ain't afraid to say it. And let me just say this too. Because while I sit down here, I gain information, so I had to ask questions. I'm hearing that one of the directors of the WASH program is the intimate partner of Mr. Orlando Romaine. If it's true, say it's true. If it's not true, say it's so. Mr. Romaine, you're the PRO of the NDC. You're an advisor to the government of Grenada. You're also involved as a diplomat representing Grenada. I believe in the creative industry and so on. Is one of the members who is a director of Nation Builders, your intimate partner. Well, I thought I wouldn't call name tonight. I call a name, asking a question. What do I want to do? Sue me for asking a question? I hear so. If it's not so, just come out and say, hey, it's not true. But otherwise, that is what I'm hearing. That your intimate partner is one of the 3 directors of that. I'm also hearing, right, that another director on that board is the chair of the NDC St. David's branch. That's why I'm hearing that another board member of Nation Builders, another board member, the same organization that they gave $500,000 to, that person is the chairperson at the St. David's branch. Let's go to the oops, we missed that call. Yeah, so we'll go to the phone lines. 440-7377, very sorry, caller. Yeah, I'm also hearing that another member is the chair, NDC chair of the St. David's branch of the NDC, National Democratic Congress of Grenada. If it ain't so, say it ain't so. I'm telling you all what I'm hearing. I'm putting it out in the public and giving you all the opportunity to say that it is not so. Clear the air. Because before the company that these people are talking about, somebody who's supposed to be the significant other of Mr. Orlando Romaine, somebody else who's supposed to be the chair of the NDC St. David's branch, from what we are hearing, if it is not so, come out and say it's not so. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
Good night, my love. How are you?
I'm all right.
Go right ahead.
Right. Looking at this black and white paint that they painting, all over the Grenada now. Independence, I know that, the colors that we use is ice, green, and gold. Right? But I see now that they're having black and white all over the place. And that brings me back, I think it's when I see on television, I think this color is ISIS colors. I don't think I going blind or I can't see, but I think these colors is ISIS colors. And I want to say that we have technology now. So when Delma and Calissa, they are lying, we go back and play what Dr. Keith said. Because we have technology now. So they can lie and they cannot fool people. And people are listening all over. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, my dear. Thank you. Yes, indeed. 4407377. I will deal with the painting the next day. No, so yeah, again, the budget document, yes, it's 620 pages. And on page 414 of the 620 pages of the budget document, and this is under the capital expenditure of the Ministry of Social Development, Housing, blah, 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 etc., blah, 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 blah. They change it up now, right? So for this year, they've got $14 million. We know if $4 million go end up by wash, because if 500,000, $500,000 was for Belle Isle alone, if they had to do the whole of St. David, well, a couple million go in and spend it well. If $500,000 is just for Belle Isle people, you know I love you, and I will never stop loving you. Yeah? If they're doing the bathroom and toilet, take it. Yeah? Take it. All right, nice. But you know what to do when the time comes. Right? Love you all. Always will. Right? So 14 million for 2024. 12 million. Again, real figures tonight, 12 million. And I'm showing you all as well. Me and just saying thing here. I feel like just saying thing. Right? And remember, all of that is local revenue. That is not grant money. That is not some other country giving that money or so. This money is money that is under local revenue. In other words, that is coming out of the consolidated fund. Right? So 14 million this year, 12 million, that's the projections that they intend to spend 12 million next year and 14 million the following year. All right? So in a total, over the next 3 years, you're talking roughly $40 million under this project that they take $500,000 from and put into an organization that I want to know how they get a bank account before there was a registered company. But anyway, we go find out. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, sir. How are you?
Yeah, easy.
Nice, man.
Let me tell you the reason why they painted up the island in black and white. The reason why they're doing that is, the country, you're now walking in, the country is not a hotel, neither a guest house. It's only when you're going to funeral, you dress up in black and white. And independence is about national colors. So if you paint up the country in black and white, around independence time, it's only funeral we're going to. Not the country is a dead country, so we're going to funeral. You understand? So why not paint up the country in independence around independence in the national colors?
Boss, these are the people that say when we dress up in the national colors, we's clung.
Yeah,
I never forget these people and them say it's black to dress in, These people say.
I only go in the park in the national colors like no clown. So those who is not clown, let them go in the park. You understand me?
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, okay then. Right.
Just a closer walk with thee, precious Jesus, hear my plea. This is funeral, so I sing a funeral song. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. I know I can't sing, folks, don't worry. But yeah, no, I'm laughing here because I'm just trying not to get upset on this particular issue. We've got a call online. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, I'm more than fine, man. You go right ahead.
Happy New Year, man. Well, as far as I understand, it's three batchman talent alone they doing in Baylai. So those things,
Hey, I just got a message from somebody in Baylai and they tell me, Scotty, nothing so. I can't say on air the other part of the message. Three bathroom and toilet.
Yeah, 3 batchman toilet so far.
We papa. But they get $500,000. Plus, remember. Now, remember, first of all, they collect $2,000 something the night that they had that activity in St. David. They got $500,000 from the government of Grenada. And Mr. Ramdani gave them a set of toilet and face basin and so to do the bathroom and toilets in there. So how come it's only 3 they do? Where the rest go?
3, one do one, and when them guys do, they're doing 1 free. When they do 3, and they're doing 1 free.
Oui, papa. All right.
Yeah, what they doing? The one free is behind the police station.
My goodness. But they get $500,000, brother.
to do. That just lies. 3 batchman toilet so far.
But they can't tell me that they ain't approved $500,000 or $500,000 for Belle Isle. Only for Belle Isle, no? That is only for Belle Isle.
Yeah.
That is not for St. David.
A guy was working late. I mean, as far as I understand, there's 3 batchman toilet they doing. And they have to give them 1 free. Yeah.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much for your call. All right. Thank you. Body hearing it, but I wasn't believing it. 3 batchman. Come on, man. Belle Isle people. No. Okay. If what the caller just said is untrue, somebody call and say it's untrue. I given already opportunity. Call and says if it's what he said is only 3 bathroom and toilet. If it's untrue, somebody now call and say it's untrue. Let us know, because oh God, that one hurting me. We have a caller. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man.
Yeah, man. Nice to hear, man. Happy Monday to all the Talking Points family. Sheldon, a while ago we experienced a little blackout in my area of St. George Northeast. Yeah? And speculations is arising that certain things are moving. Like
but oi. Use that on another program, not here.
No, well,
I straight up with you. You know we just drop it. Use that on another program. Don't do my program that.
We go send it.
Don't bring my program down to that. Don't do that.
Yeah, we spend it. But let me tell you something.
Right.
On a serious note,
I straightforward.
When we mistake our little voices and we say what we have to say, people will say, well, that way I mean to see. So if we say black, they will say blacker.
Well, I
if
can
they
tell
say
you.
red, they will say redder.
Well, I can
what
tell
I'm
you.
saying, Sheldon, is that what's happening in Grenada right now, we have to take a very big picture and step back and watch. Me, as a person, I will be going to the National Stadium on the 7th of February. You know why? I am a patriot. I'm a Grenadian. Yeah? I have no crumbs with anybody. I will go there. It's our country. It's our land. And anybody that doesn't like that, that is their problem. But words has memories. Words has reflection. Words can kill you. Words can make and break you. Have a good night.
All right, my brother. One thing I want to say, though, is that I hear new vans might be in for the Independence bulletproof armor PS. Can PS it? Yeah, bulletproof vehicle. I hear that. I don't know. I have heard that they're in Barbados about to reach here because they're trying to rush these vehicles in before the Independence celebration because they want to make a splash with brand new vehicles on Independence. That's what I hear. So I buy, so I sell. That's what I hear, right? I know about electricity. You going back in Revo days. I don't going back in then. All you looking up over in trouble. Well, look, somebody messaged me and they say, no, poor Belle Isle, what the caller saying is true. Yeah, only 3 toilets. No. That's not nice. They can't be lying like that. We have a call online. Hello.
Brad.
Hey, sir.
You know who talking?
Hey, man, happy birthday, brother.
You know you have to say it on the air.
Bull, happy birthday. When
you're ready, you will say it and I will listen.
Bull, you are on air, you know. You're on air right now.
Again, are they on the phone now? I don't want you to say it yet.
Okay, Bull.
All right, then, take care.
Okay, Bull. Bull, no, I'm going to say happy birthday to him while you're on the phone. You want me to say happy birthday now. Happy birthday to you, Bull. As people know him, the man with all the pen in his pocket. So, Bull, happy birthday, man. Yeah, man. You're only going older in numbers. You're not going older in how you look at things, man. Yeah, you're good to go. 440-7377. Dorio, get a song, man. 440-7377. That's the number to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. 347-329-3101. And for those of you just joining us, because I realize as the electricity is coming back in various areas, a lot of you just joined us. So folks, remember to like and share, right? I can have nearly 1,000 people on there and I only see 99 like. All you like up the thing, right? On the YouTube, like up the thing on the Facebook, right? So click the like button, click the share button right now, right? And share the thing, right? Good. So let's just go over this again. On the 15th of March 2023, because many people have just joined us, so we're going to go over it again. On the 15th of March 2023, we heard the announcement of an initiative called Nation Builders and the WASH program, and how we were told it was supposed to be part of the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, a program under that ministry. That is what we were told by the members of this administration in St. David on that night. In fact, they had a national susu. I think they collected $2,000 something that night that was supposed to go towards the WASH program. In fact, all now, when you're watching the NDC program, you're seeing a thing at the bottom to donate to the WASH program. The same program they give the $500,000 to. That's the program they're asking you to donate under. They're asking you to donate to the WASH program. But anyway, we digress. So the 15th of March, we heard the announcement. On the 12th of September, the directors of that company, who now we're hearing that the possibility that one is the chairperson of the NDC St. David branch, the other one is the significant other of Mr. Orlando Romaine, the advisor, the ambassador, and the public relation officer of the National Democratic Congress, and the third one, though I'll get the files in a short while. But we're hearing that that is the case. We don't know. We're asking a question. Is it so? Isn't it so? Tell us. Nice? Good. Right. These three directors were appointed on the 12th of September as the directors of the organization. I don't know what organization, because the organization come about after. But you had our directors to be able to register and things. So understand how it go. Nice. On the 21st of September, now the directors appointed the 12th. On the 21st of September 2023, there was an application made to register an organization by the name of Nation Builders, right, with the directors that we have mentioned before, Sir Benedict Peters, etc., right. That was made by Mitchell and Company, the Prime Minister's law firm. You can't run from it because it carries any name. The Prime Minister's law firm made that application, and the address of Nation Builders is one of the Prime Minister place in town. Yeah, so it based in his place from what we are hearing. Nice. Additional to that, on the 25th, the application was made on the 21st. The process wasn't complete yet. Yet still on the 25th day of September 2023, your government walked into the cabinet of this country and approved $500,000, gave $500,000 to Nation Builders, which was given to them through the Grenada Home Improvement Program that I showed you a while ago, that has some $40 million for them to play around with within the next 3 years. For this year, $14 million. $4 million this year, $40 million over the next 3 years under that program. Right. So on the 25th of September 2023, your government, your cabinet, approved $500,000 to that organization. Yet still, the organization was not fully registered until the 5th of October 2023, several days later. Which means, at the point in time that $500,000 was approved to them, they had not been cleared by the anti-money laundering unit, which had to give them a certification that they can go to the bank and they can create a bank account there as a non-profit organization. They could never have gotten that without being registered first. So which account did that $500,000 go to? Yeah? Which account did it go to? The money was approved on the 25th of September. While they were telling us the organization exists in March, it did not. And they should try and say that we are lying. Yeah? They should try and say that we're lying. Let me see if I can pull up this call. I think someone is trying to reach us on the WhatsApp. Let me go to the WhatsApp. And whoever is calling on the local line and you're calling private, please note that on this program, we respect your privacy and we will not answer any unknown calls. All right? Yes. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
Yeah, what going on?
Hey, I'm quite fine, bro. You go right ahead.
Yeah, man. I can learn bill by bill. Bill right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear that we want shoot on the program, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true.
No, you kind of got cut off for a second there, bro. So I didn't hear your full statement.
Yeah, I say I'm calling from Bill and I say that we want shoot on the program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in the heart of Bill, they doing a few bathroom in Chodai.
They're doing a few. How much have they completed?
Yeah. Well, let me see. Let me see if I could give you a few. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
I could come for about 7 so far, but you have
as I say, I didn't want to believe only 3, man.
Yeah, that's not true. Be honest with you, that's not true. I won't stay here and tell you 3 and I'm leaving down there. That's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have you. So take the word from me. I'm leaving down there, and they have 1 or 2 are doing wrong me. So I'm leaving down there. Not to say passing from down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they don't have you. That's true.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, I want to make an appeal to I do some work with them, right, with the government. I'm going on a month now, up now I don't get paid.
That's under what program?
Well, I feel like special project.
No, but what exactly did you do?
It's a drainage.
Oh, okay.
80 feet long. Yeah. And up to blessed, going on a month now I don't get no money.
Well, I was listening to the Minister of Finance yesterday, and he's casting all the blame on the civil servants. I was listening to him yesterday, and he was saying that all of the people that are the accounting officers in the ministries, they're not putting in the information in time, and as such, that's why the Ministry of Finance getting the blame, but it's really the accounting officers. Basically, it was a sort of nonsense, really. But we'll deal with that another night.
But listen, here's something. Me and a guy was discussing. I say, when I need me money, I say, look, I do some work and I need me money. The man say, he say, he say, if I get paid the first week in December up to this day, I don't get paid, and he working on the paving road. You know? Yeah. You know? And I'm gonna tell you, I want me money. Look, bill month coming up now, and thing expensive, everything, like bill everything high, and I really need me money. You know? And I want me. The currently go and he come back and I pray for he come back to call and tell you that, you know.
Yeah, because I just getting messages from people in St. David's. I think someone said it went for nearly 3 hours. It just came back.
Yeah, well, he go for a while. Well, from where my point of view, the internet had to go, but the current didn't really go by me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the internet had to go.
Yeah, because
but,
if they
just to clarify it, they do not feel bathroom in Billa. That's true.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much, my friend.
Right, nice.
Nice, good. And as we say, that's why we gave the opportunity for somebody to call and say it. Because if it's more than 3, as I said, I want to believe that. You understand? Nice. So they're building more than 3, right? $500,000. I don't know if it covering what they're building. But from what we were being told, government wasn't supposed to have to put no money into that. The mere construct of this entire thing. And I haven't even gone into the Public Finance Management Act and how many sections of that have been breached by what is being done here now. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hello, sir. Good night.
Good night.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm quite fine. You go right ahead.
Past few weeks I didn't call.
Yeah, no problem.
You made a point a while ago relative to the PM, Dick Mitchell, as the Prime Minister of this country, involved as much as he trying to extricate himself from showing involvement. But his firm, his business partners, the establishment that he has been a part of, maybe he actually established it, is the responsible person, if that's the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the issue, more than anything else. Whereas there has been an increase.
Hello?
I'm there.
Yeah, go.
Whereas there has been an increase. I'm hearing a music playing.
No, you go ahead, caller. I was hearing that music myself. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's not on my end. I don't know where it's coming from. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I understand. I'll go ahead. Where there been an increase in business activity for the Prime Minister? How much workers have been there more involved right now? More. How much more workers have been involved in that form? So that there is evidence from that perspective.
Hello? Hello? Caller, I'm not sure what's happening on your end. I'm hearing that music myself. It is not playing on my end.
That's right.
It's
But you hear me?
I was hearing you, but every now and again you're going blank. And remember, it's radio, so when you go silent, yeah. But and I was hearing
some kind of mix up or something, but it's not from my end as far as I know. But what me?
Yeah, something is crossing. But go ahead, yeah.
Some crossing here. It's
go ahead. Already. Go ahead so you can complete
so
here.
That. Yep, here is that. What the issue is, if the person who is accusing or allegedly to be accused and maybe in time prosecuted involving in corruption of that level and such, as being a person that should be investigated by the FIU, maybe the Integrity Commission, most likely, they maybe has to come from the FIU, but there's a go-ahead coming from authorities of that sort. Indications are, from my understanding and sense, that if the Prime Minister right now is involved in that level of activity, he being responsible for the establishment of the farm that is there, getting all this business into Grenada, which is a conflict of interest. There comes the investigation that should, in the end, conclusively point it out. So that the people know who are there at the farm has to be increased to accommodate all these business activities. You get the point I'm making?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The business activity that has been increased since this man became Prime Minister must have more workers, a lot more workers. Even though he is shrinking himself from not being a part of it, there are people who take up responsibility. Investigation necessary, mister. You're doing the best job we find for long this while relative to such thing. Keep it up.
All right,
Take
buddy.
care. I'm there.
Thank you.
Listening and taking notes.
All right, good. Thanks. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. And I challenge any of them to prove that what I am saying, anything that I've said is untrue. Yeah? I would like them to prove that. Yeah? Was not $500,000, $500,000 given to nation builders on the 25th of September 2023 by this administration before such a time that the company was even, the organization, company, whatever you want to call it, was fully registered. Yeah, so you're approving money before things even finish. And the people involved, you're hearing now that these are people directly within the bowels of the National Democratic Congress. That's what we're hearing. And they can't tell us don't hear it. If it's being said out there, we're going to hear it. So it is being said out there. Yeah? So we need clarity on these issues. We need clarity on these issues. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. You can call us also on the WhatsApp. You can give us a call there as well. I was listening to the Minister of Finance yesterday, and he was flipping the blame. And you know, strange enough, all of a sudden I realized the public servants had to take the blame for a lot of things that are going on in this country. I want to say that they are being given the blame. So you hear the attacks on them by the Minister of Finance yesterday. By any of the Public Workers Union come out and say anything. If that had happened, if that had been, for instance, Mr. Gregory Bowen, as Minister of Finance, had said what was said yesterday about the finance officers and public workers who work in the finance department of various government departments and ministries and so on. You would hear, we were in blue armband or red armband from tomorrow. You would hear, we call for an apology. Because here's what. Let's just, common sense ain't common, but I think the people who, I know for a fact, the people who listen to this program have common sense. That's the reason they listen to this program. Because they have common sense. You have a Minister of Finance blaming the finance officers. So whether they're in the, let's say, the Ministry of Tourism or wherever they are, you're blaming the finance officers, the person who is supposed to prepare payroll and all these sort of things, after you double their workload. A finance officer, prior to the bi-monthly payment, a finance officer in a particular ministry, I was attached to the Ministry of Youth and Sport and so the finance officer there before would know that they have to prepare all the documentation and so on for payroll by the 15th of the month. And if you need to be paid by any particular ministry, that you get your documentation in before the 15th so that when that ministry sends to the Ministry of Finance their payroll and the payments they have to make by the 15th, they send that in so the payments can be ready by the end of the month, by the 27th or 28th of the month. Those payments can be ready for distribution, right? This government has taken that now and shortened it by half. So the work that these people basically had 2 weeks to complete, they have to complete in a week and then duplicate right after, because they now have to pay, instead of paying once monthly, they have to pay twice monthly. Yeah? So while your salary that you're receiving may be split in two, their work has increased by 2. Not split, it ain't reduced. Their workload has increased by 2. So anybody with common sense would know that the finance officers in the various ministries are under extra pressure. So for instance, you had to prepare the payroll for the people who are working in any ministry. Let's say the Ministry of Health. You had to prepare the payroll for them. You're the finance officer, you sit down there to prepare the payroll. From ever since, you know by the 15th, you prepare everything. The taxes go so, this goes so, that goes so, NIS get the money, all of that. You prepare, so by the 15th, you submit what you have to submit. Now you are told, instead of doing that once a month, you have to do that twice a month. And the same thing, the same process that you used to have to do within 2 weeks, you now have to do in 1 week. Yeah? 1 week. You have to complete that process in. And then start the process again for the other bi-monthly payment. So the workload of the finance officers has doubled. He ain't say, well, the workload double because this government didn't properly think through the bi-monthly payment and just rush with the payment. Because they want to be able to say, well, we do the bi-monthly payment, nobody else couldn't do it. You know something is successful by how sustainable it is, not by the fact that you have achieved it. There are many people that get married and they jump up, oh, I get married and a big man now and they married and they divorce 2 days later. You know something is successful by the sustainability of it. So yes, we get bi-monthly payment, and so is it sustainable? Can you continue to make those payments over an extended period of time? Can it be done on a permanent basis? Yeah? Without all these little mishaps happening in and between. So that people from Carriacou, St. John, St. Andrew, and St. George all over have to be saying that we do the bushing and we can't get paid. Because remember, the same finance officers that have to process those payments and so is the same ones that have to process salaries and all kind of thing that you put double work on them to do. So when the Minister of Finance comes out and starts to run down the finance officers, instead of praising them, yes, we know people out there and they need to get their money or so, but at least praise them for being able to still operate even though you have doubled their workload. That is what common sense is. Knowing the difference. While you have half the salary into 2 separate payments, you have doubled the workload of the finance officers. So trying to put the mismanagement, misdirection, and ill operations of your Ministry of Finance. And I'm not blaming the Accountant General. I'm not blaming the Permanent Secretary for once. I'm blaming the minister, who is the person that directs the policy within the ministry. The Permanent Secretary and the Accountant General, and so they can only carry out the directives that are given to them, you know. The Permanent Secretary can't take on your own and decide this is what you're going and do. You're getting fired the next day. The Accountant General, the same thing. They're getting fired the next day. They can only follow up on the policy directives that the Minister of Finance gives to them. That is their boss. So if there are failures within the system, you have to find out where the failures are coming from. Did you give policy directives that were not carried out by these two officers that are causing the problems in making the payments that are happening right now? If that is the case, then it's another story. But if the policy statements that are coming down are faulty to begin with, then you are the fault. So stop trying to blame the public officers. Public officers, if Mr. Grimes and the Public Workers Union ain't go argue for all you, I go do it. Because I realize down to Teacher Jude, yes, Judas Jude, ain't even realize he keep blaming all you within the ministry for all kind of things that taking place. But that is another story for another time. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Remember, tomorrow night we have a guest on with us. Mr. Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox will be on with us. We'll be talking Carriacou issues. Folks out in Carriacou, make sure you're on early. Yeah, make sure you're on early from 8 o'clock. Make sure that you're on tomorrow night. And all of you out there in the diaspora, love each and every one of you folks. And we'll be back tomorrow night, God's willing, with more Talking Points just for you. I am out.
Man, there is a place that is under the sun, 133 square miles. Even though we're very small, come visit, you'll have a ball. I tell you, this is a paradise. A lot of people don't know we have nutmeg and cocoa. That is how we came the Isle of Spice. So in 1974, Uncle Gary fought for so. That is when we became recognized. But that wasn't sufficient. We wanted independence, so we could be proud like Trinidad. Gary came back from England. That day was liberation. He brought back the ice, gold and green.